Why do we think, feel, and act the way we do, and what we're not always told about it? Most people think psychology is just about therapy or personality quizzes, but it's much bigger. Psychology explains the hidden forces behind our decisions, our habits, and even our fears. We'll explore the main features that shape our minds and the ways that knowledge is sometimes used to influence us without us realizing. Your brain affects decisions before you're aware of them. Up to 95% of your thoughts run on autopilot. Psychology studies the hidden rule of the mind. But here's the real question: who else is studying it and why? We have the idea of free will. We love the idea of free will, being in control of our choices. But science shows much of what we do is decided in the background before we even notice. And here's where the story turns. If psychologists can uncover the hidden patterns, so can governments, marketers, and algorithms, which means understanding psychology isn't just knowledge, it's protection. Psychology, the science of mind and behavior. It asks, why do we think, feel, and act the way we do? But the answers reveal more than just human nature. They show how easily we can be nudged, steered, and controlled. On the surface, psychology looks simple. It's about understanding people. But once you dig deeper, you see it's often about influence. The same science that helps us heal trauma or improve learning can also be used in advertising, political messaging, and social media design. The better psychology understands us, the more powerful it becomes, for better or for manipulation. Psychology says we're shaped by biology, environment, cognition, social influence, and personality. So basically, your brain, genes, and body chemistry, family, culture, media, and surroundings, your beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts, your friends, peers, and society rules, and all of this equals your personality, the unique mix that makes you you. But the real twist, these aren't just shaping you naturally. They're also used by others to guide, keyword, guide your choices. Think of these five factors as the recipe for your mind. Biology sets the wiring, environment sets the context, cognition filters reality, society pressures you, and personality adds your flavor. But here's where psychology turns from science into strategy. Governments, advertisers, and tech companies know these five levers too, and they've learned how to pull them. Brain chemistry drives mood, energy, and memory. Genetics influence behavior, sometimes before birth. Some neuroscientists argue free will might just be an illusion. Biology is powerful. A single chemical imbalance can tilt your emotions, decisions, even your sense of self. Your genes quietly shape your tendencies long before you make your first choice. And here's the unsettling idea: studies show your brain often makes decisions seconds before you're consciously aware of them. That means free will could be less about choice and more about chemistry. A sobering thought when we think about how much of us is really predetermined. Let's talk about environment, which is like the invisible hand. Where you grow up changes who you become. Like it or not, it's the truth. Family, culture, and community molds values and habits. Media and advertising use psychology to nudge slightly, of course, behavior. Algorithms learn your preference and feed you what keeps you hooked. Environment is one of the biggest hidden forces. It's not just your childhood or your neighborhood. It's also the constant the drip feed of media. Every ad you see, every video on your feed is designed with psychology in mind. Platforms test and tweak. content, to see what keeps you scrolling. The environment doesn't just shape us passively anymore, it's being engineered to do so actively. Cognition, which is the story we tell ourselves, the thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that shape how we see reality. Two people can face the same event. One sees a problem, the other sees an opportunity. The placebo effect proves belief can change biology. If thoughts are that powerful, what else can they create? Cognition is our inner narrator, the voice that gives meaning to events. That's why two people can live through the same situation and come away with completely different experiences. One feels crushed, the other feels motivated. Science shows belief alone can change body chemistry, like the placebo effect, where a sugar pill works simply because you think it will. If beliefs can change biology, it begs the question, what other realities are we building just by the way we think? So basically, humans are wired to follow groups. That's what social influence is. That's the human program. Peer pressure, I'm sorry, peer pressure, and cultural groups, cultural norms, they guide behavior more than logic. History shows entire societies have shaped and been shaped by propaganda. So, who's programming us today? Humans survive in groups, so we're wired to conform. That's why social influence is so powerful. It can override personal logic. Think about how trends spread online, how people buy what their friends buy, or even how entire populations throughout history were swayed by propaganda. Today, mass influence hasn't gone anywhere, it's just gone digital. Social media algorithms, viral challenges, political messaging, they all play the role of programmer. And most of the time, we don't even notice. Personality is unique. It's a unique mix of traits and habits. Psychology often uses the big five traits: openness, consciousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. But studies show personality isn't fixed, it shifts with experience and environment. So, are you really you, or are you constantly being rewritten? Personality feels like our anchor, our stable sense of who we are. But psychology suggests it's more flexible than we think. Traits shift with age, experiences, and even environment. That means the you of today isn't the same you from 10 years ago. And the you in 10 years may be someone else entirely. It raises a strange idea. Maybe personality isn't a fixed identity, but an evolving program that adapts to the world around us. Only about 5% of our thoughts are conscious. This is the argument between conscious and subconscious. The other 95% happens automatically. Habits, instincts, hidden biases. Most of your life is lived on autopilot, believe it or not. If your subconscious is driving, who's really in control? Our conscious mind feels in charge, but it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Most of what we do, how we react, what we choose, even how we feel, comes from the subconscious. It runs in the background, quietly steering us. The unsettling part, companies, advertisers, and even governments know how to bypass the conscious mind and target the subconscious directly. It's like hacking the operating system without you knowing. And the fragile truth is memory. Memory feels solid, but it's shockingly unreliable. False memories can be planted. People swear they remember things that never happened. If identity is built on memory, what happens when memory lies? We think memory is like a camera, a recording of life. In reality, it's more like a sketchbook that gets redrawn every time you open it. Psychologists have shown it's possible to implant false memories, convincing someone that they did something that they never actually did. That means your identity, your sense of self, is built on data that isn't always accurate. If our memories can be rewritten, how much of who we really are, is real? And how much is just suggestion? Fear shuts down rational thinking. It's like a master switch. Fight or flight response makes us act fast, not smart. Media, politics, and marketing use fear to guide our behavior. Fear is the easiest way to control the masses. When you hear about conspiracy theories, most of them are stoked in some form of fear. It's something they've come up with that either the person that came up with the theory is afraid of and wants you to be aware just in case it is a fear that you need to know of. But it catches on like fire a lot of the times because they're stoked in fear. Think about that. Fear is psychology's most powerful lever. When we're afraid, the rational brain takes a back seat and instinct takes over. That's useful when running from danger, but it also makes us highly suggestible. Leaders, advertisers, and media outlets know this, and fear gets used strategically to push behavior. Think of how fear-based headlines keeps you hooked, or how political messages often lean on threats. When fear flips the switch, we stop questioning and just react. Others believe dreams or hidden messages or even windows into alternate realities. So let's talk about dreams and the unconscious. Science says dreams are just the brain sorting data. Psychology hasn't solved this mystery yet. Are dreams random or revealing? What do you think? Dreams are one of psychology's biggest puzzles. The scientific answer is simple. Your brain processes and organizes information while you sleep. But history and culture tell a deeper story. Dreams as messages from the unconscious, warnings, or even glimpses into parallel worlds. The fact that science still doesn't fully understand dreams makes them one of the most fascinating and unsettling corners of the mind. Psychology isn't just used to help people, it's also used to influence behavior at scale. Governments, advertisers, social media algorithms, like we've said before, the same tools that can heal can manipulate. Psychology is powerful, and with the power comes temptation. The same principles that help treat anxiety can be flipped to trigger anxiety. The same tools that help people learn can also be used to sell products or sway elections. Social media platforms, for example, are built on psychological design. They know how your brain reacts to notifications, likes, and endless scrolling. Psychology can free the mind or quietly chain it. Psychology explains how biology, environment, thoughts, society, and personality shape us. But here's the twist: how much of you is really you? At the end of the day, sorry about that, psychology shows us the blueprint of human behavior, but it also raises a haunting question. If so much of our thinking is automatic, if our memories are shaky, if our environment is engineered to steer us, then how much of what makes us us is truly under our control? That's the mystery of psychology. That's the mystery psychology leaves us with. And maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't as simple as we like to believe. So, this is just the first installment. Stay tuned, or maybe scroll. Maybe I've uploaded them already, but stay tuned because we'll unravel this, we'll unfold this, and we'll look deeper into this. So, until next time, bye, friend.